One of the things I want you to know is, and this is for everything we do, I'm thrilled light bulbs are going on for you. Some of you said it all makes sense to me now. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. But you have to comprehend that there's now I studied trust law for a good 12 years. And then ever since, it's not like I put it down. I keep researching. I research almost at least twice a week, things, what's going on, because everything's always changing. It's like when you get a UCC code, it could be UCC code 1215, and the next month it's UCC code 8, and you can't find it anymore. You got to know the codes and stuff. So they're always messing with things to change things so that we can't keep up. So what I give you information is what the newest and greatest that I have. Doesn't mean it's not going to change. It doesn't mean that at all. And this even goes with, the divine's basically simple. That hurts. But my point I'm trying to make here is, in the nicest way I know how to say this, don't think you're an expert yet. It's a lifestyle. It takes a lot of research. I can't get 12, 13 years of trust law into 7 hours. I hit the highlights. There's a lot more to it. But one of the things I would like to tell you is those that have the trust, read it. Read it, read it, read it. Get to know the articles. So just don't go running out there. I know this, I know that. And, I get it. I really do get it. Just like I want to see you people get out of the system and get happy and all that stuff. It makes me happy, right? I'm doing my job. Pat myself on the back, if you will. You want to do that for others. And I get that. I really do. But sometimes you're going to do more damage than good, because I can tell by some of the questions I got yesterday after I spent 25 minutes talking about a topic. I got a question that somebody interpreted everything I said the wrong way. So you haven't done hardcore research. You're kind of just getting it secondhand, and what you hear is where you're at the level you're at. So you may be spewing it how you heard it. So just be careful is all I'm trying to say tonight. Don't go running around telling everybody, if you know somebody who this could help and you trust them, I don't want to get every Momo out there. We do not want this. I want people who are in divine righteousness. My trust is not to be given away. So it's not to be stolen and people to use it and all this other stuff. Because my trust is not like a standard UBTO at all. It's aligned with the divine. So if you don't know that part, you're going to be even more screwed up. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'll shut my mouth. Okay, so, oh no, it's a Bob. The first question is a Bob Miller question. Get the popcorn out, get pens and papers. So, this is a simple one. Bob writes, is grounding helpful or hurtful, such as walking barefoot in the soil or using a pad or sheet that has the fine wires going through it and it is connected to the ground in an electric plug of the house? Bob, what the heck? Piece of paper has wires going through it and you plug into the house. Where have I been? What is this nonsense? Tell me. Tell me something good. Tell me. I read that it's a sheet with wires. No kidding. I could read that in your thing. What is that? Oh, a bed sheet. I'm thinking piece of paper. Oh, no. You can do what you want, but in my world, no. All right. No. Your frequency is not 60 hertz. 6, 6, 6. Here's the deal. So the question is grounding helpful? Are you a tree? So let me ask these questions. All right, before I do my paper drawing here. First off, do you want to, here, this is Bob. We put Bob with a face, okay? And this is his field. And let's say Bob is, let's say Christ consciousness, okay, on a scale of 1 to 20. Bob's at a 12. He's at a 12 on his Christ consciousness, okay? So his thing is, now Bob comes along to, Bob's walking down the street, and he meets a jack-o'-lantern from hell. He meets evil. Bob, do you want this in your field? See, I can't even see the chats. Do you want this in your field? Do you want to walk into this field? Okay. First thing. Why would you want to be in someone's field? Would you want to take your shoes off and stick it in his field? No, you don't want to do any of this. Why would you? So now, this is the whole where we go one, we go all thing. So now let's do this. Let's imagine this is not it. You need 60 cycles per second. This is 60 hertz. This is your wall outlet. It's not, but you would need 60 complete cycles in 1 second to be what's in there. That's the frequency of your wall. So Bob, halfway to his divine Christ consciousness, he's operating at 144. 144,000 hertz. Here he is. So his frequency, if I was to draw it over here, would look very tight. 140,000 complete cycles in a second. The wall has 60 cycles in a second. Which one's slower? Whoop. Now, let's see how many of you know things. What's the frequency of the Earth? Currently, I don't know where you're getting these numbers. It could have changed a little bit. Currently, it's at 14.7. Wait, let me rephrase that. Last time I checked. The Earth is an individual, just like you, just like me. It's a living entity. It's a holographic image of the living entity, just like us. It's projection. Just like us, the Earth has a consciousness just like us. We are divine beings, right? Just like us. But we have a lot of satanic programming in us. Right? So, do you wish to hook up with somebody else? Do you want somebody putting cords into you, grounding to you? I don't know where it came that I have absolutely no idea where it came that it's a great thing to ground to the earth. As far as I know, what's the ground? It's the grave. What's the grave? It's death. What did Christ rise out of? The grave, the tomb. And where did he go? Did he go down? Did he ground? No, he went up. When a plane is grounded, what does it mean? It can't fly. Why would you want to ground? Think about that. You are doing your darndest to rise up. Why do you want to go back down? Now the third dimensional plane is controlled by the Luciferian matrix. That's true. Yes, you would. If you vibrated at 144 kHz, you would be up in the out of here. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. I can put my hands on somebody and not connect to them. I can hug somebody and not take on all their shit. It's your intention. Your intention to ground is your intention to be death. Now, there's different aspects of this. When you put your feet in the ocean, when you go in the ocean, the water, somewhat polluted these days, but the actual water and the movement of the water resonates with you. Don't take on the water. And it's like, perfect example. Appreciate this one. So Bob and I get together and we're just going to hang out. And we're going to laugh. We're going to joke. Bob's in a bum mood. He comes over, or I go over there, and I'm making jokes. We're having fun. We're having so much fun, right? And he starts laughing. His bum mood gets better, right? Because he's around someone whose energy was higher. Now Bob comes over. He's miserable. I'm miserable. What's going to happen? We're going to get double miserable, right? So think of the earth the same as a friend. When you go to the ocean, the clean ocean, you feel even better. When you go to the ocean that's polluted, let's say there's a part of a river or something that's so polluted, it's disgusting. Like the Nile River, you can basically walk across it. There's so much garbage in it in some places. And you go there, it's dead. You don't want to put your body in that river. Are you kidding me? It'll suck the living life out of you. So, but if you go to the ocean where it's free and wild and open, and the mountains, why the mountains and the woods, it's free. The trees are happy. They're not being polluted. There isn't light, for the most part, light pollution. It's just that nature is happy. So it's like hanging out with a happy friend. But if I'm happy and Bob's happy, it's all cool. But if I'm happy and Bob's miserable, I don't want Bob going, well, I'm going to stand on the field and dump all my shit. I'm going to ground to that and dump all my shit in there. Are you kidding me? You think I want his garbage? No, do not plug in. If I'm happy and everything, I don't want you plugging in and sucking me dry. I just want to feel the field on the outside. You know when we sit on a park bench? That's what you're doing in nature. But this bullcrap stuff, which is a new age thing, New World Order, oh, send a root down and ground. And no, why do you want to be tethered? Do you guys like do you like having a leash around you? Do you want a chain around your ankle, a shackle? Does anybody? No, you want freedom. You can't fly if you're grounded. And then let's take it to the next level. Why in God's green earth would you be plugged into an electrical outlet? The EMFs, the garbage, it's in your body. Why would you go into a mechanical thing? Oh, I don't know. Have we all looked at the telegram where they're showing the kids, they're sucking into your brain and sucking out the Christ your consciousness and your power? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to bring your frequency to 60 hertz? Remember I spoke about carrier frequencies? If I was to hook everybody, right now, okay? Right now, I'm sitting in this room. All in my walls, the electric is running at 60 hertz. So I'm being bombarded with 60 hertz. I've got my monitor 60 hertz. This computer is 60 hertz. Oh, that computer, which I forgot to hit the button for the record. That computer is 60 hertz. That computer is 60 hertz. And they're all on right now. And then I got my printer over there, 60 hertz. My light bulbs are 60 hertz. What else is running right now? Oh, my heater. My heater is running at 60 hertz. So I am immersed in 60 hertz. And let's say I'm at 123,000 kilohertz. I'm really high. I'm immersed in 60 hertz. If you were to, this is why it's so hard to find a resonant frequency of people. A resonant frequency, the resonant frequency is what your natural frequency is. Right? It's a resonant. You're resonant in this body. So it's going. And if I take my oscilloscope, I can find out the resonant frequency of a tree. I can find out the resonant frequency of a lot of things. However, I cannot find the resonant frequency of man. Why? Because you're sitting in a pile of poop. I'm sitting in 60 hertz. So if I was to take my oscilloscope and I was to hook it up to me, you would read 60 hertz. I am now resonating at all the equipment around me. You see why they want you to get so dumbed down with hertz frequency? Why would you plug yourself in? You know, it's the same with, it's the exact same thing with putting the floor heat in. You know, the coils on the floor. You know how much EMFs they give off? What do you think all these electric cars are about? If you measure, and you want to tell me how they insulate you from this? They don't. Those darn batteries? Oh my gosh. The older ones weren't as bad. The newer ones, I go in a new Prius, I got to get out. My head starts getting exploded. The EMF's coming off that. So why do you feel so good when you go in the mountains? Or it doesn't have to be the mountains, in the forest. Some forests are flat. There you go, Monica. No, it has nothing to do with the mountains. It has nothing to do with the trees. A little bit, but not much. It has to do with nothing's tapping on you. You're being you. And you go, oh, the mountains make me so, or the forest makes me feel so good, or the water makes me feel so good. You're disconnecting from all the electronics. Okay. So now let's break that down. I'm an EE, you know, I've got my electronics degree, quite a few of them. Hold on, gotta get a piece of paper. Lenny, my wife, I was using my whiteboard in the other room. I don't have it here, and I'm not going in the other room for you. When we voted for Trump, what did we do? Right? We elected him, correct? We all agree with that? It's what we wanted. Hang on. Remember, I don't come prepared for these things because I never know what the questions are. So I've got to dig some things up for you. Oops, I can't type. Negate. I made a mistake there. Okay, have any of you ever seen this movie? Remember this? In the 80s, I believe it was. Maybe it was the 90s, 70s. Tron went into the computer game, remember? I remember I was at a Halloween party at a club, and it was my outfit and Tron's outfit. There was people who were there from Tron who were up for first place for the grand prize. I won. But that's how I remember Tron so well. Tron was a computer generated thing. Now let me read you the definition of Tron. Denoting a subatomic particle position. I'm subatomic. Now, what's the definition of sub? So we all get this straight. It is being substituted for something. So you're a subparticle. You're being substituted for something. So you're electing to be electrical particle, and it's substituting you. That's what this word means. You're substituting electrical particles. For what? For the Christ light. Is electronics our friend? Oh no. Absolutely, positively not. So let's take this one more step. How many of you know a decent amount about electrons? So it doesn't matter. But the rule of thumb is if I've got a frequency, let's say I'm running at 144,000, the government standard, because of the machines, everything's around it, things interfere with it. If I have a generator and it puts out, the spec on it is plus or minus 10%. What's 10% of 60 hertz? Damn tootin'. What's 10% of, so now I got 66 hertz. And what's 10% of that? 0.6? I mean 1% of that. Because it goes, there's the way it goes. So what usually happens when you measure, that's the frequency that's in our wall, 66 hertz, 66.6 hertz. Plus or minus. Now, if you have a radio station, you all like to listen to 102.3. I don't know, I'm just throwing this number out there, right? How many times you turn your radio to 102.3? You know, if you have the digital ones now, you get the exact number. But the old days, you old folks, we had to the little dial, right, back and forth to try to find it. It comes in at 102.4. It comes in at 102.2. Maybe it's starting to get a little scratchy and a little at 102. Because receivers, oscillators and receivers aren't exact. So you're picking it up. It's good enough. You know, 97.4, sometimes you can hear it 96.8. It's close enough. See where I'm going with this? 60 hertz? Now, what is our electronics? Okay, here in America, Let me give you the thing and get you really effed up here. If I was to divide 120 by 2, that's a 6. 60 and 60 is 120, even though it's voltage. I'm just telling you where you want to know where your numbers are. Why do you think they chose this number? Why is... No, it's the mark of the beast, 666. No, it's volts, excuse me. So overseas is 130 at 50. We're 120 at 60 here in America. I want to be in America. I want to be in America. Overseas, they're odd, 130 over 50. Here in America, we're even. We're even with the synchronization of the satanic Luciferian matrix. So yeah, plug in. Plug in as much as you want, children. Bob, is this starting to make sense now? Why would you want to ground? Why would you want to do any of that? Don't get me wrong, because way back in the New Age days, come on, we all went through the New Age experience, most of us. You drop a root from your a root from your root chakra, and you connect to the divine from your, and you let the energy flow through you. Okay, remember that? Everybody remember that one? And we did this the other day, so this will make sense to some of you. Here we go again. Here's Bob. So what's Bob going to do? He's going to drop a root down to the heart of Mother Earth. Here's the root, right in the middle of Mother Earth. He's going to suck up the heart of Mother Earth, pull the energy up as below, bring it to his heart. Let's get his heart chakra here. Remember this old saying? This was all about the New Age stuff. I know. I didn't. I get it. There's his heart. So he's going to bring all this. Let's make this green so you can tell the difference. Here's his roots. Right? So he's going to bring up, draw up all the energy from Mother Earth, put it in his heart. Then he's going to go and he's going to connect to source. Don't you just love power mode? Plug in. Why is that popping up on my computer? Go away. Okay. Then he's going to connect to source and bring down the source energy and bring it into his heart. And he's going to let them join together. And then he's going to blast it out and let it flow up. Oops, come on, pen. Up and around, up and around. And then he's going to create a magnetic field and all that good stuff. You remember all this shit? Does this sound easy? Now, wouldn't it be so much better for Bob? Oh, wait. And let's not forget. Now, Bob is going to be like this, and then he's going to cover himself in wires. Can we say prison cell? And those wires, oops, he's going to plug in. Huh. So I ask you this. Where'd I dropped the thing. Hold on. I don't want to see any chewing on it. Oh, there it is. I got it. So I ask you this. Well, what's a Faraday cage for? To protect your electronics from external electronics. Why do I need to protect my electronics from external electronics? if everything's good. A Faraday cage is it was a metal thing that you could put your electronics in, like your thumb drives and stuff. Where is my thumb drive, by the way? I must have left it in my other room. I started to upload the meditations last night and I fell asleep. So you put your electronics, your thumb drives, your flash drives, your external drives in a metal case so that if anything ever happens, they don't get erased. Remember that? You used to be able to, your microwave is very much like a Faraday cage. When the phones were 3G, you used to be able to put your phone in a metal pot and it wouldn't ring because it couldn't get the signal. You used to put your phone in a microwave and it wouldn't ring because it couldn't get the signal because the signal could not penetrate the metal. You put your phone in, your new phones today, in a metal pot or in a microwave and have somebody call it, it'll ring. It's getting the signal. Purposely done. You hold one of these, you're resonating at this frequency. You're being contaminated. And I want to tell women so much and men so much, don't put these things in your pockets. I do all the time. But women have a tendency to stick them in their bra. Why? I don't know. Fastest way to get breast cancer is to hold one of these in there. You don't want this crap near you. If you have an Apple phone gives off it's worse than cars. And now what do? Well, let's put in earbuds. Let's tune the earbuds to the phone so I can bring all this frequency into my head. Do you see what's happening? You don't think? What happens when you watch a TV set or, and the lights are flashing, whatnot? People can have epileptic seizures from flashing insane lights, right? It messes with the brain because it goes through the retina, it goes into the brain, it goes wee, 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 and the brain starts going off balance, and blah, 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 blah. So, what do they do to the kids today? Youth that is growing and expanding, where the most programming is done from 0 to 11, put them in front of massive flashing computer games. Heating pads are horrible. Wristbands are horrible. So, okay, let's put the frequency, let's tie the phone right to what's always here. What can you feel the most? This is directly related to your heart pulse. Let's change the frequency. Now, none of this will affect you if you're pumping out. Remember, I always talk to you about your faucet. If your faucet is off, you can stick peas up it. You can stick in lower dense stuff. But the minute you turn the water on, whoosh, full force, and it comes out, you can't get a pea up there. You're just going to blow it out. So that's the importance. We're living in a world that's meant to destroy us. So that's the importance of pushing out your Christ light. And when you do that, can't touch this. But the very second the phone rings, you pick it up, usually a family member, and you get upset. You go into any kind of fear, whether it's depression, sadness, fear, all that stuff just goes into your system. Faraday cages don't exist anymore, if you ask me. Proof positive. Maggie, you here? Mags. Oh, my thing isn't scrolling, so she might be. Yes. Okay. See, I used to keep, this is a stainless steel, pretty thick. This is a good stainless steel pot, right? And I keep all my thumb drives and stuff in there just in case. That's what I used to think. It's sealed. I guess she got the message. I didn't even have to ask her. Can you call my phone? Can you hear it? My phone's ringing. So, does this keep out frequencies anymore? This is considered a Faraday cage. It's stainless steel. And I'm not even, my phone's not turned on for 5G. I know. Dash is a really cute guy, so now my little pot, which I should put in my kitchen because I can use my pot again. It keeps all my flash drives in there. Now it's just a thing to hold flash drives. It doesn't need to be aluminum. Aluminum doesn't work also. Here, Mags, we're going to use you for this too. Got Sammy's food here. Don't spill the water. Back in the day, way back in the day, right? I taught you all how to make a Faraday cage. Remember this? You just go get 2 aluminum things. You use a little duct tape in the back. This is Brian's duct tape he sent me. And you duct tape it closed. And I have all drives. This is all PPF, by the way, stuff, meditations and stuff. Right? And I put them in there. And I taught you all how to make a Faraday cage. I doubt Dash is going to do this again. Let me seal it up. Hold on. Okay, Mags, call me. Ooh. Doesn't work. Make sure it's Mags and not Dash. Yep, it's Mags. Thank you, Mags. Doesn't work. Now, cast iron. Gotta put those back. He's like, hey, stop. It's okay, baby. Oh, we just lost the recording. So, cast iron. Cast iron is an iffy. Because there are some safes that are made of cast iron, and I've heard some safes can keep your phone frequency out, and some don't. I've worked with people and tried it, and I asked them, does it keep? Some of them do, but cast iron is made differently. So, things are not like they used to be. Where'd you go again? Okay, things are definitely not like they used to be. We never had 5G. We never had these frequencies. This is what all this crap that they're using. So if it can get through stainless steel, it can get through cast iron. It can get through a Faraday cage. It can get through aluminum. Remember the old days where the aluminum hats, they used to work? Well, they don't anymore. Oh, it can get through copper too. I've tried that. So if it can get through all that, what do you think it's doing us? A flip phone, no difference if it's a flip or not. Alan, good question. That's exactly why they got rid of lead paint. How many people ate their paint? 4G is just as bad. My phone's a 4G phone. Okay, so you all know what G is, correct? No? Yes? So let's do, okay, so hertz equals 1 cycle per second. Then you have kilohertz. Okay, here's your, so 1 cycle per second is a hertz. A kilohertz, which is a khertz, is 1,000 cycles per second. A megahertz is 1 times 6 and 6 zeros times 10 to the 6 cycles per second. A gigahertz is 1 gigahertz is 1 times 10 and 9 zeros. So that means this is the 1 second. That's 1 hertz. It's one of those cycles per second. So 1 gigahertz is, I couldn't even draw it. Is that many cycles in that same band time per second? Do you know how high that frequency is? You can't hear it. What I don't know, but what's the bandwidth on your ear? I can't remember. It depends on everybody. You only hear a certain bandwidth. That's why dog whistles. Dogs can hear it, but people can't because they can hear a higher frequency. The bandwidth, the frequency on which they're sending these signals from the big towers is in this frequency range. Now, the divine frequency, that's the divine frequency. If you're being zapped with this, are you going to be able to remain at that? It's going to scatter you. Do you see the effort they have gone through to F up your Christ light? And for all you people, I'm having fun today with my magic markers. Christmas, we used to put Christ in it. I'm not going to argue about the holiday, the day, and all that, his birth and all that other stuff. But now, they're sticking in your face that they crossed out Christ. Sticking it in your face. And many people still say it. Why? It's that hard to say Christmas? You want to say Xmas? You ask me, it's harder to say Xmas than it is Christmas. I make sure I say Christmas. It's Christ's Mass, Christ celebration. Oh, you can't say if you allow that. Because we all allow it. Every one of us. Nope. Now, we're a 12-based system. That's why America was based on 12 and everybody else was based on 10. The last 2 strands of our DNA, for those of you who took the QC course, are the divine strands. 11 and 12, it's 10, 11, right? So what did they do? They took them away from you. Overseas, they said, well, you're only a 10-base system. You do everything in centimeters, 10, 10, 10, 10, millimeters, 10, 10, 10, 10, right? You're all 10. America does everything in 12. That's why your hertz Your frequency for electric overseas is 50 hertz. It's divisible by 10. You got 5. 5 is what? It's pentagram. When they came to America, it has to be divisible by 3s. 12 is 3, right? All divisible by 3s because 3 is the Trinity. So they kept everything on a 12-base system. We're a 12-base system. We have 12 strands of DNA in the third dimensional plane. That's why they did all that. But it's been taken over. So the system was meant to wake you up. That's why America was a land of opportunity. You could wake up. But then, the Luciferian Matrix took over, and it is now the land of hell, just like everybody else. So, what happens? Fibonacci, 3, 6, 9, 12. It's all indivisible by 3. Why? The Father, the Son, the Divine Creator, Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit. That's us. We're part of the Trinity. The Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why they would call it a ghost. It's us. It's mankind. No, I don't know where you got we're supposedly based on 13. No, we're our 12-base system. We're not 13. There were 12 flames. There was 12 disciples and the leader. All that stuff is man. That's not the same. Talking about our physicality. We have 12 strands of DNA. We do not have 13. It's all divisible by 3. Anyway, but you can, whatever you like, it's okay with me. So what happens is we are the spirit. We just let the spirit embodied. I hear this a lot, Steve. The spirit is the higher self. And we call it the higher self. It's the higher self. It's the higher self. And yeah, that's kind of correct. But I don't look at it that way. What has more power? The higher self, which is an image of 3D, higher, or the Christ light, divine creator? I don't want to be a higher me. I want to be the Christ light that I am. You see that those words, higher self, kind of contain you into nothing. Because the focus is still on the third level of earth, which is the materialistic, the matter of man. And that's not where I want to be. That's not my desire or my focus. My focus is to get the light that I am, the Christ light, to resurrect and to illuminate the self. Everything in the Bible is 144. We need 144. That's why 144 is the divine frequency. 144 is what? 12 times 12. Really, all you need is 12 people with their 12 strands of DNA ignited. But that's going to be tough because we're in such density. I don't even know if we can get the 12 strands of DNA ignited fully. So God in his infinite wisdom knows the level at which we're at, which we're entrapped into this system. So says, we need 144,000 of us who are lit up to the best of our ability, which would be enough to overpower the darkness and break down the Luciferian matrix and make it go poof, doesn't exist anymore. But we're losing numbers fast. Look what they're doing to our kids. Look what they've done to our kids. I mean, that video, they're just, the kids are so, as many adults are, so plugged in, plugged in, plugged in. What did we say about plugging in, Bob? We don't want to plug in. They're so plugged into the electronic world. When you want your Christ light to resurrect, is that referring to being revived? No. Let's put it this way. Everybody's Christ light. If you haven't renounced it, if you haven't actually stated the words that you worship the other side, you still have a pilot light. That's what I'm going to call it as. We all know what pilot lights are on our gas stoves, right? They're that little light flickering. If the pilot light goes out, you can't start the stove. We're all good with this? Everybody know what a pilot light is? You have it on gas fireplaces. You have it on your barbecue. Spark, 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 poof, the pilot, it ignites it. Well, that's not really a pilot light. That's a pilot spark, but you get the point. So you have a pilot light in your stove, and it's just a little bitty flicker. Then you come up and you're going to turn on the oven. You hear it. You hear it the second the gas comes out, and if you have a gas stove, you hear underneath, it goes, poof, makes that noise. It ignites the entire thing, and then you can cook your turkey or whatever else you want to cook in there, right? Okay, so we all walk around with a little tiny pilot light. Resurrecting our Christ light is having it fully blast. Igniting it. That's what resurrection means. You're resurrecting back into the full authentication, the full power, the full authority of your Christ light. Was Jesus in his Christ light when he's hanging on a cross? Not really. He was in his body. He blasted out the Christ light when he resurrected. He walked again. He rose from the dead because Christ light can't die. That spark was still there. So resurrecting your Christ light is blasting it. I am the resurrection and the life. The life. You want to live a life of Christ light, of divine Christ light. There's a decree you should be spewing 24/7 from your head. You don't even have to resurrect divine love. You resurrect divine Christ light. You got the 7 flames in there. There used to be 12 on this plane, but now we have 7 on this plane. But it's still, the 12 are still within you. That's why you still have 12 strands of DNA. See, what happened was when we used to be a 12-base system all around, and we lost 5 flames in the last disaster. They used to be here in the temples. The temples held those flames. The Luxor temple with Serapis Bey, that was a physical temple. You can go see it in Egypt. It's in Luxor. It's a physical temple, and it had the ascension flame. There were 12 flames, one for each strand of the DNA. You were connected to those 12 strands. And now what has happened is when the last disaster happened, 5 flames got washed out. We're now a 7-base system. That's why only 7 of our chakras are connected, because we lost 5 flames. We used to have 12. You have thousands, hundreds of thousands of chakras. You've got like 1,000 in your hands. But the point is the main meridians used to have 12. Now we're down to 7. The Great Flood. The flood took out the flames. What's the only thing that can wipe out flame? Water. We lost 5 flames. But that's okay. So imagine if we took all light off and we get down to 4 flames. Nobody's ever going to be able to make their ascension. It's going to get harder and harder the more flames we lose. Because every flame, there are 12 flames in the Christ light. Every flame has a purpose. Divine love is a flame. Divine power is a flame. Divine truth is a flame. The violet flame of transmutation. Purity is a flame. They're flames. And all those flames make up the Christ light. So when you call to the violet flame to transmute all cause, core, effect, record, memory, system wide through all dimensions, time and space, everything and anything pertaining to I'm worthless, you're using this much of the Christ light. But that's all you need. So instead of trying to master the whole Christ light at once, it's like you've got a piece of lasagna. You got a plate of lasagna, a big pan of lasagna. You can't eat the whole thing at once. It's overpowering. But you can eat it piece by piece by piece. It's a lot like chicken soup. You got carrots in the chicken soup. Okay, the carrot maybe is divine purity, is the 4th flame. Those carrots do something special for your body. Then you got parsnips. Maybe that's the 2nd flame. All together, it makes the Christ light. But let's say, and I'm just making this up, let's say your eyes are starting to go south. Well, I haven't mastered the whole Christ light. I haven't mastered the individual flames, but I'm going to focus on the carrots because the carrots have better stuff for my eyes. I'll just eat carrots for a while. Because if I ate chicken soup all the time, my gosh, I couldn't eat as much chicken soup as I could carrots. It's the same thing. I'm going to focus on the 7th flame, which is the violet flame of transmutation. That's why we go through cycles. We start at the 1st flame. Our earth lives on the 1st flame. They're giving us the opportunity to master it. We're in the 7th flame. That's divine freedom. It's this violet flame of transmutation. You went through purity. You went through power. You went through all that stuff. Some of you haven't mastered any of it. Some of you have mastered 1 or 2. Lord Yeshua is the only one that mastered all the flames. The only one in, as we know, who's ever been here. That was the mastery. He had power, he had authority, he had purity, he had them all. He could transmute. Science, everything. Conscious, everything. It was all in there. So that's why I always say things like, well, if you want to be a millionaire and you want to know how to have an empire of businesses on the 3rd dimensional plane, you don't go to the guy who's homeless in the street laying on the corner drinking, beer or out of a wine bottle. You're not going to get the best advice. You're going to go to somebody like Trump, who's tried and true and proven the record of that, right? You're going to go to somebody who knows how to do it. Well, why would you go to anybody less? The only one that knows how to do it and has mastered it that we are aware of is the one that was called Yeshua, Emmanuel Su. So go to him. Now he became synonymous. That's why they call him Jesus Christ. He was Christed. He became synonymous with the Christ light. He is the Christ light. He is the Christ light embodied in full empowerment. You have that opportunity to be just like him. He showed himself not to be anything better, to be exact. Had his same issues, got pissed off at the money changers. He was man. Showed you that you can do that whole thing yourself. You just got to want it. You got to resurrect it within you. So that's what that decree means. I am the resurrection and the life of divine Christ light. I always use the word divine before all that, divine power, divine love, because what's love on 3D? Oh, it's the most screwed up thing in the world. I don't want 3D love. I want divine love. I am divine love. I don't want to be, I am 3D love. Heck no. Absolutely. He mastered all the Christ light, all 12 flames. We don't even know what the 5 flames were that we missed out on. We only know the 7. They knew that he mastered divinity. Did they? Did they know? Some of them knew. The disciples knew. The apostles. Some of them knew. The people just called him master because they the Lord and Master. That's what they knew. They were above him. I've asked many times what the other 5 are. Zippity doo da, zippity day. No, it was never intended. It's our choice. You have to resurrect yourself, Jasmine, before you can do anything. You can't resurrect. Oh, the 5 flames you're talking about. I'm guessing. You guys have to write better. See, so Jasmine and Deb, perfect examples. You can't talk to the substrate like this because the substrate, like me, has no idea what you're talking about. And it may create something in your life that you sure as heck don't want. You've got to be specific. I believe Jasmine means if we knew what the 5 rays were, could we resurrect them? I don't know. Does it matter? Does it matter if you only know 7 flames of the Christ light or 12 flames of the Christ light? Get to the Christ light. It's all in there. It's like ragu. It's in there. It's like your chicken soup. Everything's in there what you need. Just get and amplify the Christ light. But when you want to do something specific, use the right. If you want to enhance your focus on your Christ light, call in the Mother Mary. She masters the flame of focus. Ask her to hold that. So what she does is she vibrates the frequency of focus. So now you can focus better. If you need power, if you're one of these people who can't stand in their power and you're a doormat, let's just be honest, you're one of these people who are doormat, everybody takes advantage of you, they walk all over you, you have no power, you have no authority. You call in the first flame. You focus on the first flame. So you would call in Mary to help you with focus and focus on the first flame. Then you call in the first flame. It's easier to master individual sections than the whole thing at once. However, when Yeshua stands beside you, when we do the meditations and Yeshua is standing beside you, he's blasting the whole 7 rays. Actually, I believe he's probably blasting the whole, no, he said 7, because we can't handle the other 12, the other 5, because our system's been shut down for them. Okay, that makes sense. So just resurrect who you are. Helen talks all about music and the tones and the 12 and it. Yeah, Helen, that's all well and good, but it's really well and good, but you got octaves and you got everything. You can divide them into the 3rd octaves and stuff. Remember, I studied music. It's all well and good. However, it's easier to just do Christ light. They're all okay. Music is nothing more than frequency. So you just, every flame has a frequency. You're just playing with the frequencies. That's all that is. So you can, everything. Your voice is a frequency. I'm holding onto it too tight. That's a frequency. If I tap my finger, that's a frequency. How many times am I tapping in a second? And then the sound it's making is another frequency. Everything is frequency. Stop asking me what's good for you and what's bad for you. I can't determine that. Only you can determine that. Some people salt baths may be bad for because they don't want it. Sometimes it may be good for them. I don't know. Salt is natural for you as an individual because it's who you are. You have salt within you. You know, I've had doctors, I've had what is that? Nutritionists and everything tell me, oh my God, you're going to drop dead from all the salt you eat. I have a salt shaker in every room of my house. You know, when I go to bed at night, I'll just take some sea salt. I love salt. I adore it. Eat it by the truckloads. Oh, your blood pressure is going to go through the roof. No, it's not. And I have extremely low blood pressure. So for me, the equivalent of what your body knows what it needs if you just listen to it. But I also run a lot of current through my body. Salt is a good conductor. But if you're not utilizing the salt in your body and you eat tons of salt and you're not utilizing it, it could affect your body. Your body knows exactly what it needs. So don't ask me, get into a state and say, is this good for me? But when it comes to electronics, just saying. But we live in that world of electronics. All right, so Maggie, they actually wrote Nadine, I'm not stupid, Nadine, you just copy and paste the same one, the same decree. So let me ask you something. I'm going to use, Nadine writes this decree. She wrote it last week. It's a beautiful decree. I request park thence for my husband Richard and me, Queen of my dominion. I'm divine, perfect health. I am, and I call to Yeshua and send a message, charge momentum, and make it so. I also call to the beautiful, awesome PPF family, masters in remembrance, to amplify, magnify, intensify my decree, and join me on the bench. I'm divine, perfect health. I am. So let it be sustaining, maintaining, self-sustaining. I am divine gratitude. So I'm going to ask each and every one of you, she did this last week. She's doing it again. What is that telling you? Come on. Get the little fingers typing. She doesn't believe it. So let's say last week, let it be maintaining, self-sustaining, right? So here it is. And here's, let's say she's got a little seed. It's this big and it starts growing because it's being amplified and it's growing. And this is the decree. It's growing and growing, growing. She does it again. Got to start over. This is what I'm talking about. You people don't have patience. This is why most people can't manifest what they want. Your Christ consciousness, the divine aspect of self, knows what you can handle and how you can handle it. So people like, I am, you know, I don't pray for money. That's bullshit. It's Luciferian. Oh. How many of you saw the Euro thing? Oh my gosh. I didn't want to put it on the YouTube page, the Telegram page, because, I just couldn't. Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to get it for you. I have it. Give me a second. I want to show you something. This is just blew my doors off because I'm not even, this is for you people on the other side of the pond. So US people, you always get more attention and pampered and what's the word? Cuddling. So now we're going to do it for the UK people. I'm going to give them some of the attention. Here it is. Can you see that image? Very well. Let me see if I do it this way. Come on, focus in. This way, tilt it. How about that? Oh, I can't see the messages coming in. It's Moloch. Look at your 50 euro. Watch this. Oh, it's a 20 euro. Is that a 50 or 20? It's a 50. I thought it was a 50. Watch this. You take your euro. You bend it in half. There you go. Christopher checked it. Christoph. So, why would you pray for money? So you can hold Luciferian Moloch in your hands and have that energy in your house? So many people go, oh, I need money for this. I need money for that. You need shit with money. What you need is Christ light. What you need is the divine creator. So get your pen and pencil out. I believe this is in my library. I'm not sure. I am the riches of the divine flowing into my hands for my use, that no man may stop. And here's the most important one, including myself. Because who stops you from having the riches of the divine? Nobody but you. I am the riches of the divine flowing into my hands for my use, that no man may stop, including myself. Because you're the only one who stops yourself from being anything. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can do it to you. You have to accept it. So when you start decreeing things in the positive, right? I am the riches of the divine flowing into my hands for my use, that no man may stop, including myself. You're now undoing the belief of lack and limit. But the minute you go, oh, I can't afford to pay my bills. You know what? Every time you sit down to write a check to pay your bills, a lot of us don't write checks anymore, everything's or every time you go over your monthly statement, say a prayer of gratitude. What I mean by I'm divine gratitude. I am divine gratitude for having the money to pay these, for having the means, negate every year, for having the means for all of this, for having the riches of the divine to assist me in all of this. How awesome is it that you have a water bill? How awesome is it that you have an electric bill? How awesome is it that you have a mortgage bill? Because there are a million people in this world who would love to have that, especially the ones in my neck of the woods where they lost everything. How awesome is it that you can watch your bank account dwindle down? It's just as awesome as you watch your bank account go up, because you have a bank account. And if you start becoming gratitude, I told you a long time ago, gratitude, divine gratitude, and divine love open the door into the higher Christ consciousness, into the ascended master world. Without gratitude and love, you can't get in. Power, they don't care about. You don't have power, you'll get it. Don't worry about it. But if you're not grateful for the divine, look at it this way. God, divine creator of all that is and all that will ever be, which is not Satan, it's the one true living God, put this lovely place, this plane of earth together for us. Gave us everything. It's a playground. Some of us are playing nasty. Some of us are playing nice, but we're still playing. Be grateful for it. You know, you can look at the kid on the teeter-totter, right? Look, there's two kids playing on it. One kid's nasty. Bam, bam, psh, drops it. You can be sitting there and watch him and go, yeah, he's not nice. You're making a judgment. Maybe the kid on the other side likes bouncing around like that. But be grateful for the opportunity that that kid has to do what he wants. And if you don't want to be like that, be grateful that you have the opportunity to walk away and not be like that. You're only a slave if you allow it. See, and this is what people say, well, and I get this. This is about a lot of the New Age thing. And I say, focus on your Christ light. But I get that. Oh, not my world. I'm not going to focus on money. I'm not going to focus on this. I'm not going to. Well, you're not going to have it. And right now we're living in this plane. So the knowing of what's going on allows you to get out of it. If you never knew money was evil, oh, but I'm divine Christ light. It can't hurt me. But you're not yet, because you're living in this plane and you've accepted so many other programs that you're not there yet. So knowledge, because they chomped on the apple, what does it say in the Bible? And you chomped on the apple, and now you have the knowledge of good and evil. Doesn't say you are evil. Doesn't say you have to choose evil. It says you have the knowledge of it. Before that, you didn't have to have the knowledge. You were just, it didn't exist in your world. But it exists in this world now. And you're playing in this world because you have allowed it. You've accepted the fact that we live in the third dimensional plane. You're here. You came back in here. These are the rules of this level. You're not at the level before the chomp on the apple, where everything was divinity. We're not there. We're living in a world where it's not. So if you know the knowledge, you can choose correctly. For you, sometimes choosing evil is what you want to do. Knock your socks off. Not my world. I don't want to choose evil. I don't know what you're referring to, Cynthia, but that's a statement I would never say. But unless you're saying something else about it. It's not evil, it's what people do with it. What are you talking about? Evil is evil. Is 100% evil. Satan is evil. Money is evil. The money in our system is evil. It's not like it used to be. Money in America used to be made by the Treasury, which was we the people. It is no longer done that. It is created by evil to do evil, to be evil. I am the riches of the divine flowing into my hands for my use, that no man may stop, including myself. It doesn't mean, because even God used Job, look at the story of Job. It doesn't mean you can't use evil for good things, but to say it's not evil is not truth. It is specifically infused with evil. Specifically. It doesn't mean you can't do good things. God used evil for a lot of things. God used Satan to prove a lot of points. Okay, Marilyn, this is true, but you're not listening. The native people, Indians, wore leather moccasin, lives from land. Puzzle about the earth's energy. Right. They lived from the land. They didn't ground into the land. There is the difference. We all live from the land. How many of you have ever had a salad? You're living from the land. How many of you have ever eaten an apple? You're living from the land. You drink cocoa. You're living from the land. Sugar. Organic cane sugar. You're living from the land. Okay? They lived from the land. Crystals are from the land. They give off energy. You are not throwing your shit into the land. There's the difference. That's grounding. You see the difference, Marilyn? And that wasn't the question. The question was about grounding. I don't know if they did or they didn't. It doesn't matter to me. In the Indian days, they also didn't have chemtrails dropping chemicals all over everything. In the Indian days, they didn't have the amount of insects we have. Insects is misqualified energy coming to life. Have you seen that new disgusting insect? Oh my God, it makes me want to puke. Indians lived for hundreds of years. Some of the tribal elders were what, 150, 170? Because they weren't in what we're in now. There was no electronics. Let's say in the old days of the Indians. Oh, I don't know. They didn't have cell phones. They used smoke signals. It was a different world. Satan didn't have as big of a hole. Now Satan owns the place. Sonia says, can I please ask about ion foot soaks? You don't need to beg, you can ask, can you? Are they good? Are they not good either? I don't know enough about them to answer that question. And what's good for me, what's good for you may not be the same. So what I would do, Sonia, is instead of giving your power to me, I would very nicely sit in my Christ light and say, should I do an iron foot bath? Is an iron foot bath for my greatest and highest good? Ask yes or no and trust what comes to you. That's initiating the own power. You keep doing that, so you may get one or two things wrong. It's like trying to walk when you're a baby. They fall down a lot, but they keep going, right? And eventually they master it. Listen to yourself. Don't listen. Listen to yourself. Hi, I'm Leana from PowerPassionFreedom.com. If you liked what you heard, why don't you come and join us on Sundays? We do a whole free question and answer period followed by a meditation. Bring all your questions. All you have to do is go to PowerPassionFreedom.com to register for Sunday. Oh, and don't forget to like us and subscribe to us below because we're always adding new meditations and content and you don't want to miss out on it. I'll see you Sunday.